Hollee Chanel.
And I'm Melanie Loren.
And this is Dipped with Sweet and Hot.
It is. We said it at the beginning this time, guys.
We got it right. It only took 3 seasons.
I mean, I don't know. I think I particularly enjoy the variety.
I do too.
Of how we start the show. But yes,
I just wanted to get it right one time this season. If
we did just say who we are before we start talking and sharing our opinions and all of those things. But welcome back in, everybody.
Yeah, come on in. I know you missed us.
Yeah, of course they did.
Yeah.
So we are continuing our season of Audacity.
It's very audacious.
There's a lot of it in many different forms. And if you don't believe us, just take a trip back through the rest of the season. Up until
don't believe us, just watch.
That's right. You can watch
on YouTube.
Listen, I saw where you were going with that.
Come on, segue.
I saw where you were going with that. But if you prefer to listen, so yes, you can watch us on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe to our channel, Dipped with Sweet and Hot, on YouTube. But also, if you are one of our very loyal listeners, of course, you can still listen to us while you go about your day on all the platforms where you find your podcast. So,
yo, Melanie, I don't know if you've had this experience, but yesterday, I was visiting a friend, and as I was, and she had another friend of hers there, and so she was introducing us, and she says, "Well, Hollee has a podcast with her friend." And it is something special to sit and listen to someone tell somebody else about your work.
Oh yeah,
because like she's
bragging on you a little bit.
Listen, she's an avid fan. Like she was giving details. I was like, wait, how did you remember that from season 1?
I love that.
Yeah, it's special. So yeah, make sure you join the dip party, honey.
That's right, because once you come in, you don't go out.
You don't go out. You don't go out.
This is the party that continues to go on and the gift that keeps on giving, as they say.
And you know the episode she specifically name checked, right?
Oh my goodness. Which one? Because different people have different favorite ones that have impacted them in certain ways.
Hers is the broken penis. It's the broken penis.
Well,
yeah. But I'm excited.
It was educational and entertaining.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised, I guess.
Yeah.
We do promise to be both of those things here on this podcast.
We don't undersell ourselves. We try to deliver every single episode.
That's right.
Some intelligence, some wit, some humor.
It's gonna all be there.
It's sweet. Sometimes it's hot. So speaking of what you got going on.
Well, I found some things last night.
This troubles me.
Whenever I paused,
whenever you say
I decided like I was about to wax a professorial.
Yeah, but you said found some things. I'm like, what did she find? Help me, Lord. Go ahead.
I had found a couple things over the last couple of days. First of all, y'all, I found some money.
What? Come on. Can I get $50?
That's not how you find money.
Okay.
That's how you find, if I don't know if people do laundry or whatever, you find like, oh, it was $1 in your pocket or whatever. Like, I get excited over little stuff like that. But this was more than that. I went into a bag of things that my mother had sent me. And I thought it was just one thing in this bag that I haven't needed. She sent me this from her house months ago when I first moved into my new place. And since I haven't needed that thing, I haven't gone into the bag.
Right.
I went into the bag containing that thing the other day and saw that also nestled in the bag was a birthday card that someone else had sent me to her house. Now you should know that my birthday is in February.
Okay.
It's October.
And she's an Aquarius. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I was like, this is a birthday card. Girl, I opened this card. It's $50 check in this card.
Won't he do it?
Runs left. I would run left if I could right now without disconnecting all the equipment, but won't he do it?
Won't he will. $50.
So then I was like, because I know that obviously the person who wrote this check, I'm like, oh, I hope I don't throw off her accounts because I'm definitely getting ready to see if I can still cash this.
Right.
And it went through and she texted me the next morning like, thank you for finally cashing the check. I said, thank you. Thank you so
right
much.
on time. Right
That's
on
the first
time.
thing I found.
Oh,
Okay.
you had a double suite.
I gotta tell you, it's kind of a triple. But we're gonna summarize. So I went to an event last night.
With your $50?
Essentially, yes. I hadn't thought about it that way, but yes. I went to an event last night. It was a homecoming here, HBCU homecoming.
Okay.
And even though I didn't go to this school, I found 4 or 5 people that I knew.
Okay.
That I hadn't seen in a long time, including a friend that I met when I was so young. I don't remember meeting him. He lived down the street from me in Memphis, where I'm originally from. Our parents were friends. I haven't seen him since probably somewhere between the 3rd and the 5th grade.
Ah, okay.
And I immediately saw his face and was like, I know him. And I called his name from across the room. He knew who I was right away. I knew who he was right away. And then I found this girl who used to live down the street from me when I was in high school in Chicago.
Shut up, honey.
And then I found this other girl who went to high school with me in Chicago. And so it was just like a big, I just was finding like long lost people last night. And I might have even found my husband. Okay. I just want to say, I'm not going to get that's all I'm going to say to y'all. Okay.
Come on next season.
I'll let you know.
Come on next season.
Dippers, if this is anything that's noteworthy, then I will let you know. But I'll just say I had some interesting conversations last night that were
Melanie
impressionable.
Melanie,
so
I need you to make a public declaration to our Dipped with Sweet and Hot audience, especially after last episode, that you will consult me on any major moves.
I guarantee you nothing.
Hey, look, Dippers, just so you know, you heard it here. I am not responsible. When y'all say, how come her friends didn't help her? How come nobody told her? You heard it here. I tried. Go ahead, Melanie, do you. Live your life. Go ahead.
You sound like a mama. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Watch.
What?
Watch.
Don't believe me, just watch. 2 times an episode.
I'm gonna say this the second time. I'm not gonna jinx it.
No, we're not gonna jinx it. I'm trying to help you.
Listen. So I won't say anything more. Like I said, I had some impactful with a few people. I had some impactful conversations and some conversations that left impressions on me yesterday.
Again.
And so
based on last episode,
this is why you're saying this.
Because the last episode you had made an impression on a couple of people at the same time. And we will
revisit that. Actually, we're going to revisit that,
and that went
because
south.
Y'all had some things to say to me. I got texts at 2:30 in the morning because people felt a certain way about that story that I told in last week's episode. If you didn't catch it, go ahead and listen to the Audacity to Apologize. My bad. The Audacity to Apologize, because some polarizing opinions.
It's very polarizing opinions.
Hollee and I disagree, number one. And then number two, I got some flack. Your girl, speaking of hot, I got some heat. But what kind of heat you got? So we're gonna return to that later. But what kind of heat you got over there? What you hot about?
I don't know. It's not as great as that. Like,
you can't follow that.
Can't follow that. But no, so mine is actually, it's hot. Well, it's hot in that I caught myself in the midst of like blazing hot fury. And I stopped myself before I went there. So, you know, the Mariano's on Fridays is Club Mariano's. It's a Kroger grocery store chain here in Chicago.
That's right. And the reason she calls it Club Mariano's is because several locations will literally, first of all, they have a wine bar inside the store.
Yep.
And then they will bring in live bands to do sets and performance, and there are chairs and people are drinking wine and dancing.
Oh,
and
no. They're not just drinking wine. It is important to note that it is $5 and $10 wine. Like it's like it's regular stuff that you would get in a grocery store, but they sell it for stupid cheap.
Yeah. So it's a draw.
It's a draw. It like, I mean, where else can you go get your grocery shopping done, get some entertainment and some cheap drinks? Like families would be proud, like all over the world, right? So, but
and they be packed in there.
I've
been to Club Mariano's a few times,
and this is my high. So the Mariano's that I was at, the bartender, it was actually her birthday, and so everybody likes her, and so it was literally like 75 people at Club Mariano's.
Okay,
and she was the only bartender.
Now, okay.
And so that was problem number one.
They were understaffed,
grossly understaffed. Like she needed another bartender and a bar back to help her, and likely a manager of some sort. Mm-hmm. So any hoodles, it took a long time to get drinks, right? The first time I tried, I waited 20 minutes, no avail. I went, got myself some food because I said, Hollee, that's probably for the best. You don't need to be drinking on an empty stomach. So I went to the deli counter, got me some bang bang shrimp pasta salad, came back downstairs.
I have picked that up from Mariano's for her before. She loves that stuff.
Love that stuff. So I get my pasta salad, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna eat. I went back to the bar maybe a half hour later, and this time I waited 40 minutes for a drink.
We're at an hour.
We're at an hour, and
with the break in between.
With the break in between. So it wasn't, because it was her birthday, and so I wasn't mad about it. And I'm one of those types of people that just reads the tea leaves. So I said, listen, this is not for me to have a drink today. I'm not supposed to.
I'm dry today.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be consuming alcohol on today. But here's the problem. There was another woman, an older woman, who got up when I was like in line for 20 minutes the second time. During my 40-minute stint, I'm halfway through my 40-minute stint. And this other woman gets up, and I'm second in line. She gets up and comes and jumps the entire freaking line. And she stands there to catch the bartender's attention. And so I'm like, benefit of the doubt, because the water station was right there. So I'm like, well, maybe she coming and going. She wasn't. I said, well, maybe she wants to talk to her for a reason, because I'm thinking that's her homie, right?
The audacity.
So by the time the bartender 40 minutes later makes her way back down, she doesn't know who's in what order. And she starts waiting on the lady who showed up last. And when I tell you,
the audacity of that woman, not the worker.
And there were 4 people around me who were like they saw this happen. And they looking at me, and I'm looking at them, and I think that it's good. She looked at me, and I looked at him, and she looked at me.
And if you don't know that reference, maybe it's better that you don't.
Maybe it's better that
but
you don't.
But if you do, you just chuckled. Continue.
But so that's how it was. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to act up in the good Mariano's today. I'm not going to do it.
I was just about to ask you, which Mariano's were we? Because how this played out from this point depends on which Mariano's you were in.
I don't even have to tell you which one. I'm going to just tell you where it was. And it was on the north side of Chicago.
Okay. It went a whole different way, man, baby.
It went a whole different way. Okay. Because if we was on the south side.
Because if we was in Brian, if
we was in the Bronx still. Mm-hmm. So I looked at this lady, and I was like, yo, I cannot take this. I was so pissed off. I dropped a 20 on the counter for the bartender's birthday. And she was like, baby, what you want? I said, no. Happy birthday. I grabbed my purse, and I walked out and got in my car. I didn't plan to leave.
Your night.
No. I didn't plan to leave. I just knew I needed to come down in a private space, because when I tell you that I was incensed, and so this is kind of why it's hot, because I was hot, but this is kind of why it was sweet, and it's because of self-reflection. Because I sat in that car and I said, Hollee, This is not the first time somebody has jumped a line in front of you. This is not the first time it has taken forever for you to get a drink. This is not the first time somebody's been rude about it. Like, what is it today? And after I took a few deep breaths and thought about it, don't ignore me. I am a human. I am a person. I breathe the air that you breathe. How dare you ignore me completely? And again, I already felt the way about the bartender, but I gave her grace because it's her birthday and she was swamped. I gave her,
she legitimately was
swamped. She was legitimately swamped. But I'm free. I'm human. I admit there was ire. My heckles were heckled. Okay.
Yes.
But the woman who jumped in front of me knew that I had been standing there because I'm sorry, I left out a part. We had talked about how long it was taking to get a drink. We had talked about this.
We being you and that woman.
And the woman who jumped the line. And so, you know, and I'm saying this because I told my therapist about it, and she was like, right on, Hollee. It's a great moment of self-reflection.
I'm not going to say your therapist's name because we protect anonymity. But every time you do an impression of this woman, it sends me. I just continue.
She's amazing. But she's like, good on you. And I appreciate the self-reflection. And this is good growth. This is good. But just to recognize that I did not like being ignored, because look, and this is a vulnerable moment for me. It's a vulnerable moment. I said, because my father ignored me for the better part of my life. My ex-husband ignored me.
Yeah.
Some of my ballet teachers, because of the composition of my body, ignored me. And I'm at this point now where time to fuck out. How dare you?
How dare you?
I deserve to take up space and be acknowledged.
Sure.
And to be serviced, especially when I've done, and that's the other thing, I've done nothing to anybody to warrant that kind of disrespect and lack of consideration. And so,
and
condescension.
Like the audacity of you to think that you are somehow better than me or more deserving of a beverage than I am, or your time is more important than my time, so you shouldn't have to wait, or whatever was going on in your head, the reason you decided to skip a whole line of people.
Yep. So, but after that, I took my breath. Once I realized what it was,
the trigger was being ignored.
Yeah, it was being ignored. I jotted a note for therapy.
Yeah.
to talk about it in session. And then I went back in and enjoyed the rest of my night.
Great.
I went back in and I enjoyed the rest of my night. And the lady was like, baby, you okay? And I did her like this.
Because some might say, swamped as she was, it's also part of her job to remember who was next, especially if they've been standing there for 40 minutes. But we're going to give some grace. But yeah, you decided to not say anything, which also sounds like wisdom.
Yeah. So it
was sweet that you were able to work that out for yourself. That requires some very high emotional intelligence. So I just want to give you kudos for that, for like recognizing, for unpacking for yourself what's going on right here. And also because this is the reason people snap off and pop off in public, is because they don't do that work. Like they don't do that internal work. And you were self-aware enough to know not only that you needed to unpack that for yourself, but number two, that you needed to do it in private.
Right.
That you were that close, and that you needed to contemper. That was a combination of control and temper.
I like this. No, you might be onto something here. Contemper, but
vocabulary word.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, T-Bev.
To temper yourself and self-regulate in that moment your emotions until you could get to like a place of clarity. So you're talking, listen, dippers, you have two people who believe very strongly in therapy, so you will hear a lot of therapy sounding words.
Yes, absolutely.
sometimes. So that was good. But you made a good point about the fact that you deserve to take up space
Mm-hmm.
as a fully formed human being
Mm-hmm.
and not wanting to be ignored. And it leads me into our subject of discussion for today.
Okay. Okay.
Because I believe that one of the things that comes with that is the audacity to speak your truth,
Yeah.
to voice your perspective, even if it is unpopular,
Mm-hmm.
um, and to speak out. And in this era where everything is being recorded,
Right.
either voluntarily or involuntarily,
Everybody's got a podcast.
everybody's got a podcast.
Everybody's got a podcast.
Sometimes it's an audacious act because you never know how your words will be interpreted. But you still,
Mm-hmm.
my point is, you still have the right to show up as a fully formed human being. But there's this particular person that's been getting a lot of flack for that
Okay.
recently, and her name is Miss Ayesha Curry,
Steph's wife?
Steph's wife.
Oh.
Now we're not friends. I don't know her personally.
Listen,
I
I said Steph's wife, like me and Steph was friends.
exactly. Like, is that, I don't, maybe that's why I felt the need to clarify. I don't know. Like, we don't know them.
I was hanging out with them yesterday. Like,
right.
She didn't say no was up.
It sounded very familiar. But we, Ayesha has been catching a lot of flack on the socials lately. And what I would like to talk about with you in our time here remaining today is what I said, like the audacity, first of all, to speak out, because you don't know how the soundbite is going to get construed. You don't know what the narrative is going to be. But then also the audacity to share an unpopular opinion and just to speak your truth, which I think is some of what was happening. But I'm going to let you, since you haven't seen this clip, and I'm going to let you and the Dippers decide what you think. And we're going to chat about it.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Did you talk to Steph about it?
He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm
Yeah.
not home, like did you experience that?
I still experience
Okay.
that. I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing?
So,
What's wrong?
what's wrong is to be found in the comments. So let me back up and say this clip was from an appearance that Ayesha Curry made recently on, I think it's called the Call Her Daddy podcast. And there have been so much commentary online about, are you seeing it now in real time?
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, we're both looking at IG because there has been so there have been so many posts about like interpreting what she said, and so many comments made about what she said. And a lot of it has been, some of it has, to me, been logical. Other parts, a lot of it has been very negative and basically along the lines of,
oh, wait. Let me read these.
Go ahead.
These. We got one that says, why is she on a podcast embarrassing her husband? This should be between her and her man. The world is going to see her as ungrateful because so many wish for such a blessing. Here's another one. She resents the fact that Steph took away her struggle. Now she has no grind story, no self-made story. She's literally suffering from success. And in her eyes, it's her husband's fault.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's another one. Jada Pinkett Smith Jr.
Shaking my damn head.
Proves you can give a girl everything and she's still not happy. Okay, cool. Go work for the rest of your life then.
Show a woman the world and she'll complain about the view.
Bro, Steph, leave her immediately. There's been so many of those that's like, bro, Steph, you need to get all your assets transferred into your mom's name and like leave her immediately. She's so ungrateful. She comes out here embarrassing you time after time, because now what's happening is that people are going back in the crates and digging up other podcast interviews or interviews that she's done where she said other things. So like some people feel like this is a pattern. There was apparently some interview she did some years ago on a round table with Jada and some other people, and she was explaining the imbalance in her relationship, or how like women will throw themselves at Steph but men don't approach her, and how it has made her feel like the fact that she hasn't gotten any like attention from other men in decades or years or whatever has made her like question her, like, what's wrong with me as a woman? Like, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Men don't say anything to me, but yet Steph has all these women throwing themselves at him. She got attacked for that, about people saying, why would you want attention from any other man besides your husband? And so I go back to my thesis statement about why I brought this up. It takes audacity. And you just had a moment of vulnerability earlier in this show. It takes audacity and courage to be vulnerable enough to speak publicly about anything. First of all, when you're a public figure, because this can happen. But second of all, to share an opinion about that may surprise some people about what your truth is, what your desires were, and be that fully formed human being that you were talking about earlier in the podcast. So, what's on your mind?
This is not news.
What? The fact that she...
This is not... No. What I'm saying is that the world is on fire. And this is what people are adjudicating in the comments. This is what people are putting their energies to. This woman just told her truth. And what's so crazy to me, you know what? You didn't piss me off now.
There's more hot.
There's more hot. What's crazy to me is that this woman, if you listen to what she is saying, she's describing parts of postpartum depression, like things that actually exist in the world, and things that we have seen that if they're not addressed properly, that they could have long-term and lasting damage, not only to the mother, but to the father and to the other parents, to families, and to especially the doggone kids. Mm-hmm. I don't understand.
You're shocked at the level of attention and backlash and all of that this is getting.
That, number one. Number two, I'm pissed off at the assumptions. And this one comment about Steph took away her struggle and now she has no grind story, no self-made story. Who said she was looking for one? Who said that? And furthermore, and this is a personal thing. I don't know if I said it on this podcast, but when I was selected to be the announcer for the Rosie show, there was a lot of positive comments. And to my knowledge, I only saw one negative comment. One negative comment. And the one negative comment said, ugh, this is so disheartening and disappointed. Hollee Chanel is not some hard luck story. She's a debutante who went to private school. I never said that I had a hard luck story. I am a debutante who did go to private school for the majority of her life.
What I said was that I was laid off.
What I said was that I was laid off from my job. That's what I said. So you're assuming, first of all, you're assuming that she was struggling in the first place. And that is a dog whistle. It is racism. It is sexism. Because you see this melanated woman and who is rich. And if she didn't have an MBA husband, then she would have been reduced to a life of struggle and grind.
Well,
the audacity.
The audacity.
The
But furthermore, and this I would have to check the facts on for sure. But before they got married and stuff, not only did she have career goals, but she was actually pursuing them. Like she wasn't a bum on the street.
Right.
Is my point.
And she didn't come from a bum family either.
You know what I mean? Like, and so that narrative, but also there's something else that she said. If you watch other parts of this, she said at the time, she either said in this one or in another one, that people have dug up, that when she and Steph got together, his aspiration at the time was to be like a high school basketball coach. And that is the picture that she had in her mind of like he's going to be a high school basketball coach, or I'll be over here doing what I want to do for my career, and this will be our life. You know what I mean? And the life that she leads, the point being that the life that she leads is very different from that. Now, we can sit back, we as a general public, because I hesitate to group myself with a lot of these people making comments. We can sit back as a general public and make judgments about this life that she leads now being so much better than the life that she initially envisioned, because they have money and they have fame and they have status and power and all of those things. But that's us doing that. And I think that's one of the things that I want to point out is it better to have more money than little money? Sure. You know what I mean? But also people say more money, more problems. You know what I mean? And so there's that too. And I guess what I'm saying is what you have a problem with the assumptions being made. I have a problem with the oversimplification and the misconstruing of what she actually said.
Yeah. So the other part, so yes, they are misconstruing what she said completely, taking it out of context. And again, dog whistles. The other part though, for me, is that no one knows what it takes to be the wife of a professional athlete.
People in the comments.
No one knows what that takes. I was listening to, I think it was LeBron James. And you know it's got to be important if I check him, because I can't stand that GOAT conversation as a Chicagoan. But I digress. But I was listening to something that LeBron James said, and he was talking about his wife. He was talking about his wife and how he would not be as successful as he is and be the ball player he is without her, because she holds down that house, because his life is 24/7 professional athlete. If it's not conditioning, it's practice, it's games, it's travel, it's press, it's endorsements, it's all the things. And you have no idea what is in these NBA players' contracts.
First of all,
all
you see is what you
in their contracts, there are certain things that they cannot do physically.
Period. So they're not allowed to.
So imagine how that would translate to like taking your kids to a theme park.
Mm-hmm.
You might not be able to take your kids to a theme park with your basketball husband, because he might fly off of a roller coaster and break his leg. It's a far-fetched example, but it is an example, and those kinds of clauses in professional athletic contracts do exist.
Yes, absolutely.
They do exist. Mm-hmm. And so my point is, how dare you judge her struggle as a mother, as a wife, but especially as those two things to a professional athlete.
And not just any professional athlete either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because yes, he is a professional athlete and those things can exist for any of them, but we're talking about Stephen Curry.
Come on now. Mr. 3-point himself.
Who is known worldwide, and there's just a huge assumption being made that it's all rainbows and butterflies.
From the Curry family.
His daddy, basketball his legacy.
Brother, his sister was a baller in and of herself, but she's married to an NBA player as well. Mm-hmm. So you gotta imagine like the microscope these people are under.
Let me say this. Okay, so first of all, and this is what some of the comments, I will give credit. One of these comments says, I don't understand what y'all don't understand. It's not that she didn't want to marry or not have kids. It's more so that career was number one for her at first and everything could come later. She never once said, I regret marrying him. I regret having my kids. I regret, like, you know what I mean? She never said, I don't want him. I don't want my kids. What she said is, I had a different plan for my life before I met and married him. And then when I met and married him, this whole thing went a different way than what I had planned. And I get pissed off at the lack of empathy, because who among us has not had a plan for our lives that deviated?
Went completely awry.
For better or for worse. But my point is, that's for you to decide whether it was for better or for worse. And I'm sure I would go so far as to say, she didn't say, I regret having money. She didn't say, oh, I wish I wasn't rich. You know what I mean? Or I wish my husband wasn't rich, you know, because there are people who are like, well, go work for the rest of your life then, career woman, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And it's just like,
which here's the thing. That's not an insult. She would probably be happy to do that. Like, what?
And she does have business ventures.
She does.
And so, you know what I mean? I guess I resent the oversimplification of what she said. Like there are people out here saying stuff like, bro, never give her a podcast mic ever again. She needs to be studied. Like, you know what I mean? Something seriously wrong with her. First of all, she feels these things. And then second of all, that she says them publicly, because then we have the whole conversation about her embarrassing her husband, which brings me to my next point, which is this. Do y'all really think, how long have Steph and Ayesha been married?
I don't know. Probably about what? 15 years now?
Let's see. Well, they've at least been together.
They've been married since 2011.
They've been married for almost 15 years now. So 14, almost 15 years now. And they were together before that. Mm-hmm. And he has been a celebrity pretty much the entirety of a celebrity basketball player, the entirety of their marriage. My point is this. Do y'all really think that after 15 years of marriage, having your marriage be under the microscope constantly because you're married to one of the top basketball players in the world, that Ayesha Curry is dumb enough and so media unsavvy that she would go on a podcast or on a television interview and say something to us that she had not, about her marriage, that she had not already talked to her husband about in private? So this whole narrative about her embarrassing her husband, he knows how she feels. They've probably had several conversations about it. She didn't just decide to come and tell the world that she had other dreams and aspirations outside of being a wife and a mother. That wasn't the first time she said those words. And it's ridiculous to me that people think that it is. Like, do y'all think he's surprised? Do y'all do y'all really feel like he's surprised when he hears when the podcast episode drops? They've talked about this at in the kitchen.
You know what I'm getting ready to say. And whenever you bring up stuff like this, I'm gonna go right here because I am still paying student loans. How dare you insult my intelligence? Did you think I would be stupid enough
to tell you deep, dark secrets?
Like, okay, say, okay, fine. I'm rich. You think I'm really gonna ruin my bag?
That too. I'm dumb enough to do that too.
How dare you insult my intelligence? That's the other thing. They think this woman, listen, folks need to stop making assumptions because y'all think that because they're married to professional athletes that they're basketball bunnies and that they don't have lives, that they are not educated, that they don't have families that care about them, that they don't have home training.
Just be out here.
They were just out here feral.
Bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel, looking for putting on Temu bodycon dresses and going to basketball games, hoping to get chose.
Baby, Temu catches strays, boy, and rightfully so. Look here, baby.
I'm like, who do you think human women are? Like, what do you think?
She's supposed to be so stupid that she gonna tell a stranger on a podcast some deep, dark secrets about her feelings and her desires for her past life that she never shared with her husband, knowing that him and the rest of the world will hear it.
15 years later.
Come on. She's been in the spotlight for at least 15 years. Give her some credit for understanding how media works.
Melanie, we have not said this nearly enough this season, but the unmitigated gall.
So this whole narrative about she's embarrassing her husband publicly, do you think that if he genuinely had a problem with it, that she would talk about it repeatedly publicly? Because y'all remember, y'all been playing the receipts. Y'all been rewinding to stuff she's been saying for years. Would she do that for years?
And you know what, too? Let me go here. I'm gonna go insult some intelligence now. Listen to the whole podcast.
Absolutely that.
Stop listening to clips. Stop,
including ours. Listen to the whole episode, please. Thank you. Go ahead.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
So listen to the whole podcast. See where she's coming from, because she could have said all of that. It reminds me of those Hallmark movies where towards the middle of the movie, there's always some misunderstanding.
Some big, huge miscommunication that could be easily
remedied. But it's usually because one person overheard something and left before they finished the sentence.
That's right. Like they didn't hear the whole conversation.
They didn't hear the but. I love her.
But I love him.
Right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna stay in the small town now.
Yeah, they didn't hear that part.
To the big city.
And that's what it is when these people listen to these clips on social media. They walk away before they hear the rest of the freaking sentence. And then you want to write a whole dissertation about this 2-minute clip.
One of the comments, and I think this kind of summarizes what we're saying, is I think this is a person who identifies as a man writing this, and he says, I've heard a lot of women say this. They have dreams, goals, and things they want to achieve. Motherhood causes many of those women to put their dreams and goals on the shelf. The way, and let's be mindful that Ayesha started having babies in her 20s.
Early 20s.
Her early 20s.
Early 20s.
The way we grow as a community is by listening to people and showing empathy. Not telling them what they should be doing or how they should feel, and in essence, berating them for telling their truth. Heaven help us to be more concerned and understanding than criticizing. I will give credit to @TedWin.
Amen. And Ashay Ted.
For writing that comment. I thought that was very well said, because the other thing that he brings up is, we don't even have time to go in and unpack the levels of misogyny that are wrapped up in some of these comments. The fact that a lot of the people criticizing Ayesha are people whose skin are the same color. Their skin is the same color as hers. Like, that's also meat on the bone that we could pick off right now. Like, what's going on? Because when you look at from whom the vitriol is coming, that could be a whole discussion in and of itself. But just suffice it to say, like, you initially were like, what's the news here? Also, this, as our friend whose comment I just read mentioned, what's unique about this, I guess, is that it's playing out on a worldwide stage, and she's famous, and she's got a podcast mic, or she's on a TV talk show.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very common. Women go through this. She hundreds, thousands, millions of women. This is the conversation, the age-old conversation about, like, women wanting to fulfill different parts of themselves.
They don't just want to be mother and wife.
Some women's goal is to be full-time mom and wife. And I applaud them, because it is the hardest job on earth. There are other women who want that, and who also have a part of them that wants to do things outside of the home. And that's okay too, is my point. And so there's
First of all, yes, it is okay. But it's none of your damn business. It's literally none of your business.
Because I tell you what, we arguing in the comments. She been saying stuff like this for years. They still married, huh?
It ain't stopped her bag. It ain't stopped her marriage. It ain't stopped her aspirations, because she's doing the things now. But, like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah.
She was, all I'm saying is she was just sharing what a lot of women feel, which is that, hey, and I'm gonna make it a more universal experience, which I started to say previously. Yes, it's specific to women, because it is more compounded when it comes to women, and more impactful sometimes, because in our society, in a lot of cases, more of the responsibility of rearing and raising children falls on women than it does on men in heterosexual relationships. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you can see the impact of having children more drastically on how much it changed a woman's life. Sometimes, many times,
right.
Not
Absolutely.
all the time, than on how it changed a man's life. All she's saying is, hey, I ended up with something different than what I had envisioned.
Oh, I'm sorry. Women don't get the right to envision, imagine, or change their minds. Sorry, Mel. I guess you didn't know that.
And that right there is the meat on the bone that I said we could pick at for a whole nother episode or more. So yeah, the audacity to speak your truth.
Again, I go back to my thesis statement. Why is this news?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
also in the greater context of what's happening right now. We would rather talk about this than talk about some other things. Hey, go vote, Georgia.
Ooh.
Early voting is now. One thing that they've been talking about a whole lot is, like, electing people that will hold Georgia Power accountable for, like, these skyrocketing utility bills. Mm-hmm. The point is, there is a lot of other attention that needs to be put on other issues right now. I wanted to talk about it because hopefully we've said something that might have given someone a different perspective about this whole Ayesha Curry conversation.
Here's my final word.
Now move on.
Mind your business and tell your truth.
Yeah.
Mind your business. And you know what part of the issue is that some of these folks are hating because they're too scared to tell their own truth. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
And with that,
projection much?
And with that, my name is Hollee Chanel.
Listen, and my name is Melanie Loren. Now, I didn't forget. Y'all gonna be like, y'all said y'all was gonna talk about the guy with the funny content. We are. That's still coming.
Next time.
So we will do that next time. So I just want you to know you can look forward to that because we did tease that in our story time at the end of our previous episode. So that is coming on Dip with Sweet and Hot.
Like and subscribe.